I had a big sore on her leg, the inside about that big. Probably, it'll be worse from diabetes. So it just so happened on her first visit, coming with me, right, that she sees this and goes, I could do something about this. So kind of our devotions and stuff got put on hold. Well, we ran over to a pharmacy and got some medicine and dressed her wound and then followed up with her for the next several months. So in this picture alone, too, you have a Dominican and a Dominican, right? An American, a Cuban, another Cuban, and 2 Mexicans. So it's a very multinational mission.
Pastor, what's the general feeling in the country towards Americans?
Generally positive. Yeah, generally positive. So their very culture is semi-Americanized. I mean, a lot of the food, you know, the grocery store we go to, there's a lot of imported American food. Yeah.
Carrots from Bakersfield.
Carrots
Yep.
from Bakersfield.
I know I grabbed those. Idaho potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say Idaho, those are the ones I buy.
Yep. So, yeah, but generally, and it's also their main, it has the fastest growing economy in the Caribbean. Things are booming and doing very well. A lot of that's driven by tourism. And so they want to be nice to the gringos as well.
And get tips or whatever, money too.
Do they have fresh seafood?
They do. We don't see a lot of it where we are.
You're farther in,
Yeah, we're a little.
but like you're the coast.
Yeah. And by fresh, sometimes you order, you know, fish at a restaurant and you have to wait for them to catch it first.
It takes that long, does it?
Yeah. So one of the big things we do in connection with the church as well is we go to what's called the Concha, which is one of the members of my church is a coach of a volleyball league. Started off with about a half a dozen kids 5-ish years ago, and now there's about 300. So built into this is the Christian faith, and so he wants to provide a safe place for people to live or to play and for the kids to go to. But part of this, the team is called the Chamos, but as you can see too, Chamos is a Venezuelan word. The guy's from Venezuela, so it means kind of like boys, right, or buddies. So, but on the back, right, and you guys recognize that, right?
Very nice.
So we all have them, like our family has too. So we every week we're out. We go to right now. It's expanding. It's booming, but we have 2 volleyball courts that we go to at least twice a week. We go and do devotions and pray with the kids, talk to the families, reach over 100 kids every time we're there. It's also kind of a training ground for the seminarians and vicars, like on how to do stuff, right? How to give a devotion. So usually whoever's preaching on the Sunday is the one who's leading the devotion and giving a little preview of what their sermon is about. Someone else then does an opening prayer. Third one, if there's there, does a closing prayer, and yeah, so we have a chance to do this. In order for the kids to be part of the team, they have to be able to explain Luther's Rose and how they can share the gospel using just their churches. Right? So we have 2 different ones. We have 2 new missionaries who just came to the field about a month and a half ago. 2 young married couple just graduated from college. That their job is going to be working with me, providing English classes. That's a big draw for them. It opens up all kinds of opportunities for people if they can speak another language. So we're going to start teaching English classes. They're going to be on the volleyball court 4 days a week in these 2 different locations, getting to know people and offering these classes. classes. And basically what we're teaching, the way we teach English is we teach Bible stories. And we teach the liturgy. So we're going to start with the Lord's Prayer in English, right? And teach them that. And then invite them to church regularly to show off the Lord. So, yeah, here's just some other things. Some other pictures of what we do in connection with the Lord. But this is a big project. Yeah. Okay. So lots of other opportunities in music, evangelism. Kind of squeeze on by. Our church has. This is a member of our church. His son. These are some people that saw us at the volleyball court and have been coming to church on occasion. And then the fiance of a member, his daughter, they're going through capitalism class right now. Our church is very blessed musically. We have a mini orchestra every Sunday. So at least 2 violins and 2 guitars and a piano. Sometimes trumpet, sometimes flute, sometimes clarinet, sometimes all of it. Cello is going to be coming soon as well. Recorders, that's usually
That'll be
how they teach the
Ryan.
kids, right? But that's also one of the ways that we reach out to communities. We offer music classes. And what do we use to teach music? Let's go through that. Let's go. We're trying to buy a new church building. We're renting the space right now. So this is where we currently are, at Main Street here, and then over here, the 2 big arenas. Our current church is here. We're looking at these 2 houses here or a piece of property over here. We want to keep it close by. This property would be great right across from the big basketball. I mean, we just have to walk out the doors and stand there. And we can talk to people all day long. This one's a little, a straight block off of the main road, but you have 2 abandoned basketball courts here that we're trying to get access to as well. So that we could probably use for free as long as we maintain the property. So we're in the works of trying to purchase the property and build our own church so we could be fully moved.
The problem is nobody knows who owns it. And some people say they own one property and that another person will say no, they own it, or it's been taking, it's over a year that we've been trying to do this.
Mercedes, the chief founders.
And you have to send a Latino in, you shouldn't have got, we shouldn't have got, it's real white, just raise price or whatever.
So there's a big rum factory right here.
They won't get us in.
So we think that they own this property that we're trying to talk to. And they might own that property. Okay, so that's one of my jobs. Second one is I'm a professor at Concordia the Reformer Seminary and here, and was just appointed the dean of the provost in the seminary as well. So I don't know what that exactly means yet. There's the front of the, so this is taken from the dormitory up on the side of the hill, looking out on Santiago. This is the front of it. It's out in a nearby community called Palma de Riva, which is takes about 30 minutes to get there, to drive there. About, I don't know, 10 miles, more or less. It's usually fast, sometimes faster to get there than my church, because it's out of the city. But there's a Lutheran church here, there's a Lutheran school, so the bottom floor is a Lutheran school, the middle floor is the church, and the top floor is the seminary. So, yeah. So, let's get through there. So, the seminary offers 5 programs. We have residential, pastoral formation online, or FPH. It's like our SMP program where it's online. Deaconess, trained deaconesses. We have a pre-seminary program and a program to catechize teachers in Lutheran schools throughout Latin America. Okay, so currently, where is it?
I was just wondering how many students.
There you go. Okay, so, we partner with 10 national churches and 7 mission churches on the other side. So these are where there are Lutheran churches, but it's not large enough to be like a national church body. Okay? But we are the route to ordination for 17 countries in Latin America. So, of all of these churches, right? So when someone from Chile wants to be pastor, they come to the Dominican Republic to study. But we work in 19 different countries because we have deals also for deaconess formation. We have 42 pre-seminary and pre-seminary, 47 graduates. So the seminary is 10 years old. We just finished our 9th academic year. We have 50 professors and mentors kind of scattered around. Only 3 that live in the Dominican Republic. So maybe that's why I got, it's one's the director and is either me or the other guy from.
The other guy.
Yeah. So we have 93 in the Lutheran teacher program that's starting this fall. I just wrote the first manual for that on scripture and how Lutherans use scripture. So turned out to be about 95 pages.
In Spanish.
So that was quite a thing. I'll get a little here. Yeah, we'll go with this. So just a little bit of an impact. In 2015, there were 3 pastors in this. 3 Lutheran pastors in this. Now there's 10 more, and there's 6 that are studying with our seminary. Okay. In Cuba, there were 2 pastors in 2019. Now there's 3 more and 2 more studying. Okay. In Bolivia, there were 0 pastors in 2010. Now there's 10 more and 7 are studying. So that just gives you an idea of what the seminary is doing. Some of the stuff's in Spanish, but you can figure it out. So this is the number of students that we have in each program. So we have almost 400 students in all of our program currently, right? So we have 12 in residence. The FPH is the online program. We have 18. We have 62 deaconesses. So these are just current students. 62 deaconesses. 2 are colloquying in, so are pastors of different denominations that are becoming Lutheran pastors. 33 in pre-seminary program. 151 that are in continuing education for the deaconess program. 13 that are seriously in the talks to come into the seminary in the next year or 2. And 93 enrolled in the Lutheran teacher program. And FPQ is working with some other like Bible colleges, kind of scattered program. So almost 400 students is who we're working with currently. Yes.
So what does pre-seminary mean? What do they do when they finish that?
So it's a the pastor of the church. It's basically teaches basically Bible study for those that are in their churches that are interested. And it's there's a handful of courses. And it's like Introduction to the New Testament, Introduction to the Old Testament, Christian doctrine. And if someone wants to start Greek and Hebrew, they can do that.
And then
So-
they actually go to some other seminary after that?
They would come to ours. There's more numbers. The big thing, so just the big thing are the bottom lines. We have 44 total graduates in the pastoral program over the last 9 years, with 32 students currently, or 36 currently. So, and that doesn't count the deaconess or the other programs. We graduated 150 deaconesses. And 2 core codes have a number 60. So that's I'm the main teacher for the deaconesses in the public. most of whom are seminary wives, as well as a handful of others in the communities. So a deaconess and a pastor teach the course in connection. So I'm the pastor teacher for the DR cohort. We have about 12 students. So we're coming up on the 10th anniversary. So this fall, the opening service for the seminary will be the beginning of the 10th academic year. So we're planning some different events throughout the years to do these and to celebrate this. So, what else? Yes, ma'am.
What's the length of the different programs?
Yeah. So they're all the main programs. The main two would be a resident and online program, and think just in U.S. terms, it's almost equivalent. So our online program is modeled after the SMP program, and we actually worked through the seminary in Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne was very instrumental in getting the seminary started. So originally it was kind of modeled after how they were doing that 10 years ago, right? And then it's been modified and adapted, of course, as time has gone by. But both are 4-year programs. The main difference in the resident program is there is no vicarage year, but vicarage is built into the 4 years. So student classes are only in the mornings, and we go up till about noon or 12:30 for classes, and then the students are required to do at minimum 15 hours of field work a week. So that includes visits, but I mean that would also include preparation for Bible study, sermon, whatever that may be. But they have to keep track of all of their hours in connection with whatever church that they're attending at the time, and coordinate with the pastor for what that looks like. So I never go by myself on any kind of visits and out in the community. One, it probably isn't the smartest for a white guy to be walking around by himself in the community center. But I usually have 2 or 3 or 4 people tagging along, sometimes more, to where then we have to break up into teams, right? Because I also have 5 deaconesses in my church. So, I mean, we average 40 to 50, and we have 5 deaconesses. Pastor, currently one U.S. seminarian, our Dominican seminarian from Mexico just graduated, so he's going to be leaving and going to Mexico this summer. So we'll get a new seminarian to tag along with. So yeah, so we're always going out.
I was just going to point out that this picture is taken on top of the seminary, and if you look all the way back, we call that Golgotha. That's where the single seminarians live.
Oh.
So they go to and from Golgotha.
We just built, you could just barely see this. They just put in stairs last summer.
How are they getting?
It's about 175 steps, stairs, so that doesn't include getting there and back. So these guys' calves are like this. Because they get a workout just walking up and down.
How long is the deaconess program?
3 years. So it's a 3-year deaconess program. They take 3 courses a year and have practicums that they have to do where they go along with the pastor and or seminarians on visits, evangelism visits, member like shut-in visits, mercy work visits, have training. A lot of them also then serve as altar guild for whatever churches they go to. So they get training on what, we have the altar guild manual, right? So we have a version of that that's been translated into Spanish as well. And so they get trained in all, what's the meaning of all the different colors, the seasons of the years, the parallels, how to set up and take a communion, all of that kind of stuff. They get trained. Yes.
What classes do you teach at the seminary?
I teach systematics, so doctrine, and primarily systematics and New Testament, and then pastoral theology. So the systematic class is Pastor Swan. So I did Dogmatics 3, so basically volume 3 of Peter. So that was the church, the sacraments, eschatology, end times stuff, election, predestination, those things. New Testament, mostly the Gospels. So I just taught a course on the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Pastoral theology, did an intensive class on that for 2 weeks last summer. And that was just kind of your intro to what is a pastor, right? What do you do, and that kind of stuff. So, and much more on the practical side of things. And then teach the deaconess courses as well, and write courses for the teacher, Lutheran teacher program.
This is more on the culture again. I went to visit my son when he was a practicing physician in Puerto Rico. And the one thing that was apparent to me, that people are never in a hurry to live their lives long. In fact, you showed up at 8:30.
Yes, Steve, you
For
were
an 8
fitting
o'clock
perfect.
flight. You were 30 minutes early. What?
Yes. I said you would fit in perfect.
Oh, good. Well, Julia Tiananida.
So, what other questions do you have? We got 5 issues.
Do they have a call system for the seminary and stuff?
Yeah, so we have the formal agreements with these national church bodies, so they send their students to us, we train them, and but the national churches are the ones that are responsible for finding them a church to go to and ordaining, so we don't do any ordinations or anything there. We're the training mechanism for the churches and the route to ordination. So, of course, there's conversations that go on, about that, just like in the U.S. seminaries, right? The placement directors talk to the district presidents, where are the churches that are in need, what kind of needs are there, single pastor, assistant pastor, if there's some kind of specialty that they focus on. So it's very similar conversation. Yes?
When you left Zion, you talked about all these other countries that were involved in this, and you said something about you might be visiting those. Have you had to do any of that?
Not yet, but now as the dean of the seminary, I will. So most likely I'll be going to, we have these things called foros. That's what I attended before we left. And it's kind of like weekends where you get big updates on each of the churches and what they're doing and that kind of stuff. It's kind of the main avenue for communication with the U.S. And all the international churches do this. Part of that then is I always give reports on that kind of stuff, but we have invitations from others. So in October, I'll be going probably to the Foro in Mexico. At that same time, that Mexican seminarian who's going to be ordained that weekend that they're doing. So I'll be the representative of the seminary there. But that's, since we've been there hasn't been another administrator in the seminary side of things. So that's part of why I don't know what I'm doing yet, is because the director and I are having regular conversations and dividing up responsibilities and who's doing what. So there'll be more travel in that way involved to the different Latin American countries. In Africa, or in January, I'll be going to Africa for a month. I was invited to teach at the seminary in Madagascar. So, so I'll be there teaching in their seminary. Course on ecclesiology, so doctrine of the church.
Because Africa is part of your
No.
thing there, it isn't?
No, the LCMS, so it's, the church in Madagascar is moving out of, sort of, slowly, moving out of the liberal Lutheranism into a more conservative direction. The current president of the national church body got his PhD at Fort Wayne Seminary and is in talks now with the LCMS because he knows us. Okay, so for 18 months, they're doing 1 month intensive courses, so 18 intensive courses over 18 months, where they're inviting LCMS or sister church bodies, professors to come and teach in their seminaries. So they started with those that are international. And because we're already international, right, paper, just the logistics, we have passports and paperwork, all that kind of stuff done. So we have that, and then they went to the U.S. seminaries, and then they went to the Concordia universities. So the travel will be ramping up. Usually it's going to be a week at a time, or less, the Africa things. So, any other questions? I've got out of time. Yes, sir.
We came late, so I apologize if this has already been answered, but you must be pretty fluent in Spanish and trying to talk and communicate. How is that moving forward?
Poco a poco, cada vez. Todas las actividades, el servicio y todas mis clases están en español, entonces tengo que hablar siempre en español.
I understand. I can't speak that. I understand
So
what you
yeah,
said.
everything I do is in Spanish. Everything I do is in Spanish. So, yeah. The problem is Dominican Spanish. Yeah, nobody here's going to be offended. Dominican Spanish is horrible Spanish. That's the problem. Yeah. So there's a lot of slang. They chop off the ends of words. I mean, we do this too. Okay, so think like go to the deep south, right? You have a different accent. You cut off the ends of words, but rather here in the deep south they speak slow. In the Caribbean they speak twice as fast. So always dropping off S's and R's. So, you know, an easy thing like 2 times would be dos veces, right? But there it'd be dos veces. So you gotta kind of tune your, and part of the challenge, again, we have seminarians from, you know, a half a dozen different countries. And so everybody has a different accent, everybody has different slang. So one of my favorites is, we had the word in the DR, a lot of the Caribbean for a bus, like a city bus is a guapo. Guapo. And, but in Chile, a guagua means, is a term for a baby. So we had a Chilean pastor talking about how you do baptisms as a guest, you know. And so he's standing by the baptism pond, and he says, so you take the guagua in your arms. And half the people are looking at like, so it's a constant. And the students talk about it constantly. We talk about it constantly. They make fun of me all the time because I'm saying things wrong and mixing things up. So it's either laugh or cry. So usually I save the crying for now. Okay, last question. Pastor Swan's ready to go. Yeah.
Is your congregation, your church, a separate entity from So when you're
Yes.
saying like you guys are looking at different properties or buildings or whatever, that's completely
Yeah,
separate.
two
things.
separate things. Yep. So I have two full-time jobs. Yeah, so the church is one thing, the seminary is something different. We have a new pastor and his family that are coming in October, we just found out, who he will probably step into being the head pastor at this church, so I can focus more attention on the seminary side. Yeah. So, if you haven't, here's some QR codes if you have phones and want to, but there's some information. The best way to stay informed, please pray, that's the best thing, right? We're all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, and some others. But there's some links for the church and the seminary, so you can get lots of pictures on my page sometimes. We send out newsletters, it says monthly, maybe quarterly. But if anyone would like to connect in these ways, I mean, you're welcome after church.
And I was going to say, after church, if you want to keep that up, that way people, as we got a lot of special snacks and everything today, can scan those, have any further questions,
And we could
etc.
put out, I was going to make a sign-up sheet for the newsletter.
And we printed some of the prayer cards that are available next to the bulletin. I'll make an announcement about that as well.
Awesome.
Well, why don't we close with the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you so much.